Do you want to increase your annual income for your real estate sales business without working more hours?
That is literally always the goal for me. And we have 4 ways to increase your profit as a real estate agent. We'll be sharing them throughout this series.
And today we're going to talk about increasing your price point and selling luxury homes, or even just selling homes slightly above where your current standard average is right now.
It's one of the easiest ways that you can give yourself a raise as a real estate agent. So stay tuned. I'm Lou Raven with Reinvest Real Estate.
And I'm Elise Palacios.
And together we formed an amazing community on the Skool platform where we help real estate agents go from production to legacy.
And it's our goal with every video to give you at least one actionable step to put into your business today to help you reach your income goals. So we're excited to share this with you. We hope you get a lot out of it.
So how do you actually increase your price point and make more money without working any harder? Today, we're going to break down how we did it in our own businesses, and we'll give you some tips that you could take along with you. So Elise, how have you been able to increase your price point in your own sales business?
I think the first thing is getting over that mental block that a luxury price point or above your local average price point is out of reach. If you think you can't do it, then stop right there and don't even try, because you're not going to succeed.
So you think it's a mental game first and foremost?
You absolutely have to have confidence.
Okay.
People respect confidence. People who've built their own businesses and wealth respect somebody who's hustling to do the same, because they've been where you are, very likely, unless it's old money. But we have a lot of new money where we are in the Northeast, where we've got eager people who know what it's like to work hard.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I think that was my experience with my first luxury listing. It was a $1.1 million listing that was in 2019 or 2018, when that really was something. And I think I got it just based on like hustle and moxie and leaning on my prior work experience a little bit. But I think what the seller saw was somebody who was an entrepreneur just like him, who was hustling and just trying to make it happen. And he respected that I was going to go far and above beyond anything that any other agent told him that they would do. And he believed me. I think just my sheer newness and excitement and just the hunger that I had just really kind of seeped through that listing appointment, and that's why I got the deal.
For sure. And even as a newer agent, you didn't need to have all of the answers and 10 years of experience to handle that price point home. You were in an environment where you had people who you could ask questions to and defer if something did go wrong, like that does in real estate very often. But the reality is, as long as you're in the right place and you have that right network, you could, as a brand new agent, handle multi-million-dollar listings easily.
Absolutely. Yeah. A lot of times we say, get the deal and then figure it out, or get the opportunity and then figure it out along the way. Everybody who's done anything cool and exciting has had to do that, right? We've all been new at some point in time in whatever endeavor it is. Mm-hmm. So the other thing that I like to stress to agents is it's not always about just selling luxury homes right away. If your average price point in your town is, say, $300,000, if you sell a $500,000 house, well, now you're selling like 2/3 over the average sales price, and you're giving yourself a raise of about 2/3. So I think it's a very valid strategy for real estate agents to just kind of incrementally bump up their price range by saying, hey, I'm going to just take opportunities that are higher and higher than what I'm used to taking. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and you can do that incrementally, like you're saying. Like if you're hosting open houses for properties listed at $250,000, like what type of clients do you think are walking in that door? People with a budget and price point of $250,000.
Yep.
You might get some savvy, wealthy investor walk in the door, but the reality is you have to put yourself in places where those buyers are actively looking. And that extends to your social life as well.
That's right. Yeah, so if you're able to network above where your current price point is, or where your current social status, social class is, and I hate using that term, but let's just use something that translates, right? But if you can network in wealthier circles, you're more likely to meet people who will transact with higher price homes. Now, that's not rocket science. We're all able to, grasp that concept, but how do you do it in practice?
Well, I mean, there's certain activities that certain
wealthier individuals
like to do.
Yep.
You could join a pickleball league, a golf tournament, depending on what your current likes and interests are, and then start getting out into the community and meeting people. Like, you have to actually engage. If you're not living on a street that has luxury or higher price point homes, get off your street and go hang out somewhere else doing certain things, that you're going to be in an environment where you can strike up a casual conversation, which the first thing anybody asks is, what do you do and do you like it? And oh my gosh, this real estate market. Those are like the first things that come up.
Once anybody hears you're in real estate, they're going to ask, how's the market? And then you have to know how to respond to that. Different video for a different time. But in terms of networking and getting into bigger circles, yeah, some of the common ones that I hear about are join a golf league or a country club. That's great. That's absolutely valid. Some people may not have the money or the skill set. Some other things that I recommend is just simply be in the rooms where higher net worth people are. So for example, what's to say that you can't go to a Chamber of Commerce event or two, or you can't go to a planning and zoning board and hear what developers are doing and meet the developers afterwards. I mean, there are a number of things. You just have to think, like, who is my avatar client and where are they? Then figure out how to get into proximity around them.
And once you're actually working with these clients, like, is it exactly the same as working with a lower price point?
It's actually easier a lot of times. That's what I found, at least. It's been my experience that the higher price point person is probably a little less worried about that net sales price. And let's suppose you do make a mistake and you overprice the property. That conversation about a price improvement is a lot easier. And to your point earlier, a lot of times the higher price point seller is somebody who has made it in some type of way. You know what I mean? They've kind of gone through the journey and they are sometimes more understanding than somebody who's, you know, really kind of scrapping for every last penny that's coming out of that sale.
Yeah, which is a benefit in that aspect. I remember I was so nervous my first showing for an over $1 million property. I was worried about what I was going to wear, what I was going to say, and my buyers stepped out of their car in pajamas because they were coming from out of state.
Epic.
And they had like a 3.5 hour drive.
Yeah.
And here I am, like, worried about what I was looking like.
Yeah.
And it was almost comical at that point.
Something you mentioned earlier that I want to go back to is that a lot of times agents don't live on a street with luxury homes, and that's okay. You don't have to be neighbors with everybody whose home you sell. In fact, sometimes it makes sense to expand your network and get out of your comfort zone and get out of your local area. I'll give you a great example. Nick DeMastri lives in West Springfield. Average price point's around $350 or so as of the recording of this video. And he does a great job cold calling and getting opportunities and getting listing appointments, but he has a lower price point. So I said, hey, what does it look like 2 hours out? Are there higher price point homes closer to Boston perhaps that you could start calling? He started doing that, and within a week he was setting listing appointments for $750,000 homes, more than double his local price point. So you tell me, like, would you drive an extra hour each way? So, you know, whatever, 2 hours each direction for double the money?
And it's also really valuable to point out that you're talking about listings. Listings should be generating you many other leads. So it's not like you're driving 2 hours to show a not so serious buyer 37 homes. Like, you have a chance to, in one appointment, win somebody over and then now get a lot more business from that little extra effort.
That's right. Every listing should generate the sale of that house, a buyer, whether it's for that house or a different one, and a neighbor who's going to sell their house. So you get 3 deals from that. Of course I would drive 2 hours each way for that.
Absolutely. So say I'm a busy agent and I'm already doing a good amount of deals in a variety of price points. What do I do when those lower price point calls come in from past clients or my sphere, and I don't want to just leave them hanging and only focus on that luxury price point?
Yeah, you change your phone number.
Move.
That's it. No, I mean, it's a very valid question. I mean, I think it's hard for people to understand that you have to let go of something. We don't all have infinite time. So at some point, every agent has to make a decision. What is my business plan? What's it going to be? What am I evolving into? And if you want to increase your price point, that means that you're going to have to stop selling below a certain threshold. So what I recommend agents do is set a minimum and say, I'm not going to go on a showing or a listing appointment unless it's this amount or higher, and then refer everything else that's below that. And in reality, if you're busy enough that you have any business to refer because you have that volume, your clients probably aren't getting the best service from you if they're in that lower price point. I hate to say it, and I'm not trying to be egotistical or anything like that, but let's just be real. Like, agents are going to spend their time where they're most profitable anyway, so you might as well make a decision that you're going to just help your clients by getting them to somebody who's going to be a better resource than you will be because you're busier serving higher price point clients.
I've earned a lot of clients that way at open houses, where people were saying they were having a poor experience working with a top agent in the area. And my only thing, I didn't poach any clients. I would just say, yeah, it gets tough to manage your business when you don't have the time to spend in all areas and corners, and you're focusing on the right now business and the more expensive business. And I've had people circle back and reach out to me.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, I've been the agent that's lost business in that way too. I've been too busy and I've not, taken care of people properly, and they found other agents, and that's ultimately my fault for growing too quickly, not having the right systems, whatever it might be. Learn from our mistakes, I guess is where I'm going with this. But had I had more foresight and stopped and realized the problem I created, I would at least be earning a 25% referral fee, and I would know that my clients were getting handled well by agents that I care about, who I wanted to give business to.
Plus, earning your time back just to have it for your personal life and every other goal that's not directly your real estate sales business is a pretty fabulous feeling.
Beautiful thing. Absolutely. So as we start to wrap up, any closing tips or advice that you have for the viewers out there?
Get out of your own head and realize that opportunity is everywhere. And I see this a lot with agents coming to America who've maybe only been in the country for 10, 20 years, and their mentality about just getting their business going and price points and all this stuff, they're like, why wouldn't you?
Yep.
It's right there. Like, there's nothing stopping you. So to use that grit and put it towards focusing your efforts to make more money without adding hours to your day and without burning out is an impeccable skill, and this is one of the best ways to do it in your business.
It's a great tip, and if I had to add one more tip, I would say be intentional about the business you build. Create a business plan that's going to get you to the end goal that you want. Don't just be out there winging it day to day, waiting for who calls you and working in your little backyard because you're used to the sandbox and you're comfortable there. So if you want any tips on how to build a business that's going to work for you in the way you want it to, be sure to go over to Skool.com, search for Reinvest Real Estate. You'll find me and Elise in there answering questions all the time for agents. We have tons of free resources available to you 24/7.
See you in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe.